were like staring at us so much. Like at some point I think I was like, yes, we're an interracial couple. Like I was so like, what are you staring at? Like what? Welcome back to my channel. My name is TOMILOLA VANNA. If you're new here, this is my awesome boyfriend Jared. And I was reading an article a couple of days ago, and the article was a couple of questions that you should not ask an interracial couple. So I thought it would actually be fun to do those questions. And I know like don't ask an interracial couple, and that's fine, but we are an interracial couple, clearly. And we are totally down to ask these questions. Jared doesn't know what the questions are because he wasn't reading the article with me. So it's 8 questions you should not ask an interracial couple. Let's go. Wait. No, before we go, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so now. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment for us if you are into this video. Let's do this.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be easier to just date your own race? I can go first.
Go for it, yeah.
I feel like I don't want to be one of those people who's like, we're just one race and that is the human race. No. I feel like for me, it would be easier to date someone who understands me, somebody who loves me for me, somebody who pushes me to be better. And for me, it doesn't matter what color that person looks like. So if I find somebody that loves me, someone that's funny, somebody that is just somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with, I can see myself growing up. Somebody I can like see myself growing old with, then like for me the color, like the skin color, the race doesn't matter. I think it would be more difficult for me to date somebody who didn't treat me the way I deserve to be treated. How about you?
Yeah, same kind of thing. It's like,
don't lie, would it be easier to date a white girl?
I mean, if it was like a thing that was on my mind of like, wouldn't it be so much easier? This wouldn't be like I wouldn't be in this relationship now, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would have been out in the world before I met you, being like, I will only date white girls because that's just what I'm gonna do. And anything else is too complicated. Like, no, it's never been an issue for me. So like,
yeah.
I guess the reason they say don't ask that to an interracial couple.
It's kind of rude. Actually.
It is rude.
It is kind of rude.
A little offended you asking me.
Yeah, I can totally understand like why you shouldn't ask an interracial couple that. And I think, to be honest, I think you can ask an interracial couple that question only if the person is your really close friends. I feel like a lot of things can slide with people that you're really close to. Do you know what I mean? Like when I said dating Jared, like if one of my best friends said to me, wouldn't you just date your own race or like just date a black person, I wouldn't be offended with that question. Like I'll just be like, I'll answer the question the same way I just answered now, but I wouldn't be offended. But if I was walking on the road and some random person said to me, wouldn't it be easier to just date your own race, I would be like, well, not that I'm a child of God. But that's kind of how like I would feel about it. So yeah. Next question.
What language are you going to speak to your kids?
I think that like this is actually it's not that big of a deal for us because like my first language is English. Unfortunately, I didn't learn my language like until I was about 18 years old. And even now I can speak it to a reasonable extent, but I can't speak it like fluently. And then so if I was dating, let's say like a guy from like my tribe or like my race, we wouldn't be speaking any other language but like English. So in terms of like my children, like I would love to teach them Yoruba. I would love my children to be bilingual. And I know that I would teach them quite a lot of Yoruba as well, what I know. But I think primarily the language that we would speak to our kids is English, because that is what we use to talk to each other. You know, that's what comes naturally to both of us.
Yeah, I don't have any options to speak anything other than English. That's the only language I know. But like, I wouldn't have any issue with my kids learning Yoruba too, you know?
Yeah.
And like, then it's just kind of opportunity to like learn it as well, you know? Like,
Yeah.
or if it's like, if you're teaching your kids like English and Korean, like, and one of you doesn't speak Korean, learn Korean, right?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity, not really like something to be an issue, you know?
Yeah, and I think maybe this people would only ask this question if maybe English wasn't like the first language of one person in a relationship. But when English is your first language, then like, I don't really feel like this question applies to us, but I thought I'd just answer it anyways.
Yeah. Maybe to some people it applies, but
yeah,
not
maybe to some people, yeah, but definitely not to every interracial like couple. So you met online. What do you think about this question?
Like, so many people meet online, it's like not really, if there's still like some sort of stigma about it out there, like there really shouldn't be anymore, or like, I don't know, people should be more open to it. You meet people everywhere, and I mean, I've not had a lot of quality relationships come out of the bar, so.
This is how I see online dating. Whenever like back in the day, yeah, when you wanted to apply for a job, right? You'd go on, like, you submit like your resume like everywhere. You'd be like, here's my resume, here's my resume, here's my resume. Even like if you want to apply for like a loan facility now, all those things were just like face to face. But now a lot of the face to face interaction has been limited, even pre-COVID, and more so now that there's COVID. So I feel like if you're looking for, if the way in which you've done every other thing in life has changed and moved primarily online, why is online dating such a bad thing? Like, why does it have like such a bad like stigma, you know? Like, I mean, if you're so against anything online, then you should go to every office and be like, here's my resume, I'm telling you, here's my resume, here's my resume, here's my resume. I feel like I'm definitely pro online dating. I'm also like obviously pro traditional dating, but I always like advise people, I'm always like, you should totally try it out. Like, the creeps that you meet online, you can meet them in real life as well. Like, you can meet, like, online dating is like regular dating, because in real life you're gonna meet guys that just speak rubbish, like that, just dead guys. They're there to waste your time. And online as well, you're gonna meet guys that are just there to waste your time. And I primarily think that online is easier to like spot it. Like, when I was on Tinder, which I feel like I should do like a video about my Tinder experience, but when I was on Tinder, like, you could definitely tell when somebody was being serious and when somebody wasn't being serious. Like, I remember one guy said to me on Tinder, he was just like, oh my gosh, like, you're so Asian guy. He was like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, I bet you have a fat ass. So now that one, now I get to be like, this is going to be my husband. Like, I just like, it's even easier to weed out people. Like, before they even finish typing the remaining story, I'm like, how much, you know? so I feel like I'm definitely like pro online dating, but obviously do what you want. So I'm very proud to tell people that we met on Tinder. It doesn't even bother me. And generally online dating opens you to people that you would never like talk to on a normal day. Like, I don't think that I would be shopping, doing my grocery shopping, and Jared's just gonna see me and be like, well, hello, sweet things. Like, I feel like Jared is not gonna say a word to me, like, if we met like in person.
Yeah, most would be like, I'd probably be like, hey.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, he's not gonna like, and you know, he's not, and especially now with a lot of like, not feminism, but a lot of like women empowerment, that's not the right word. A lot of like respecting women and holding men accountable for their actions. There is some reluctance now for men to like walk up to women and talk to them and ask them, because it could be seen as some form of harassment, depending on my mood, honestly, and depending on your approach. And you might think your approach is fantastic, and I don't think your approach is fantastic. So I think online like dating is like safer, and in COVID times, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Do you only date black women / white men?
I think this is such. Sorry, I almost fell down there. Do you only date black women, Jared?
I mean, now I do.
I think like prior to Jared, like I'd only ever like dated like Nigerian men, which Nigerian men are black men. And I think I dabbled into like dating out of my race once, which was kind of like casually. So it's not like I only date white men. To be fair, I don't intend on dating anybody else again. So I'm really stuck here. Well, I'm not stuck here, but like I choose to be here. And then when I decided like to date Jared, like I'm not going to lie, and I know this, I'll probably get a lot of flack for this. I kind of made a conscious decision not to date specifically Nigerian men, and not because there's anything wrong with them, but I was moving into a new country and I felt like I wanted to try something different in my dating life. And so I was kind of like, yeah, if I met like a dope ass Nigerian man, I'll date him, but I wasn't very like, ooh, hook me up with Wale or hook me up with Tunde kind of stuff. Like, so I was, the point is I didn't need any convincing to date Jared. I was very open to dating out of my race at the time that I met Jared. How about you?
Yeah, I was open to dating out of my race before I met Tommy, so it's not really.
Well, like but the fact that I was black, did that like kind of like
didn't dissuade me or anything?
Yeah.
Like.
It didn't mean anything to you? Or just like Timna, yeah, black girl, nice. Like you didn't actually think, oh, she's black at any point in time.
When I saw her, I was like, I wonder what she is. No, that didn't happen. No, I think I said in a previous video, I was just swiping along and was like, oh, she's hot, and then we matched, so
yeah.
There you go.
Fair enough. Do people stare at you? Do you know what? They do.
They definitely do. For sure. All the time.
They definitely do. But I think like when we first we notice it less now than we did when we first started dating, because not because we're self-conscious about dating each other, but it was like strange obviously for both of us, for people to stare at us that much. I mean, not for me because I'm very pretty and people stare at me all the time.
Yeah, of course. For me it was completely new. Nobody stares at me.
They should.
I'm missing out.
You know, like, so I think like we definitely noticed it like a lot when we started dating. I remember one time we went hiking and like this like couple with their children were like staring at us so much. Like at some point I think I was like, yes, we're an interracial couple. Like I was so like, what are you staring at? Like, what is so fascinating about this, you know? People definitely stare at us, and I think it's because especially because in the city that I live in, there are not a lot of black people, and when there are black people, we're kind of like an anomaly, because the regular interracial couple in terms of black and white is always like a black man and a white woman. So for us it's kind of like sorry, so for us it's kind of like, oh, like this is like kind of strange and, you know, like new type of thing, but it doesn't bother us at all. Does it bother you?
It doesn't really bother me, like not any, like maybe early on I felt a little like self-conscious about it just because like I was noticing it so often.
Yeah.
But like now it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't even really notice it so much anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like we don't notice it anymore because like we're so much more comfortable with each other than when. But on our first date though, when we walked into that restaurant, people stared.
Oh, did they? Oh wait, yeah, totally, 100%.
They like
yeah.
totally stared at us. But I think like for us it's quite easy now. Like people stare and they look away because we're very like affectionate. We're very affectionate. Like it makes everyone so sick. Like my sister's always like, y'all are so nauseating. Like, so we're always holding hands. We're like, sometimes like I'll be holding like Jared's waist and we can't walk properly, but you know we go love. We must love. We must send our love down people's throats. No, we don't do it like to upset people, but like for us it's just kind of like weird. One time me and Jared had a fight and we went grocery shopping and we did hold hands the entire time we went grocery shopping, and like it was so weird for both of us. Like Jared was like and I was like
yeah, I feel like they weren't staring at us for the same reason at that point.
Yeah.
But you know what's weird is like you don't notice the adults so much, but the kids are much more obvious.
Yeah,
Like
kids.
the kids are terrible. There was actually one legit turned back to like watch us and was just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That one time we went to the zoo, people were like, the kids, oh my god, like, I feel like they've never seen it before, or maybe they were taught that was not okay. And so maybe they were questioning
It
what
looked
they were
like
taught.
they've never seen it before.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
of them it looked like they've never seen a black person before.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, like I definitely get that, like there's like stares out here actually. Generally, like
Yeah.
even when I'm not with Jared, like sometimes like at least if I go out every day when I'm not with Jared, I will get one stare at very least of people looking at me and being like, oh, there's a black person, you know. And it's like so weird because yes, the black population is really, really low, but there's still black people, you know, and it's like people are very educated and you watch TV, so there's really nothing fascinating about me. So I'm just gonna assume that they're staring because I'm hot.
Exactly, that's probably what it is.
But yeah, people stare at us, and I feel like when you're in an interracial couple, especially like the one that is not like in the mainstream, like a black woman and a white guy, or maybe like an Asian person and a black person, I think that you should expect to get like some stares. But like after a while, you're just like, because like after a while you stop seeing your partner's race. Does that make sense? Like you don't see your partner and be like, oh, there's the white guy. Like for me it's just Jared, do you know what I mean? So after a while it just becomes whatever, like stare. Sometimes I stare back. Oh, I love it.
She totally does.
I do, I'm
Staring
like
contests.
like I proper like stare back, or sometimes I roll my eyes. Like when I'm like in a proper like sassy mode, like I'll definitely roll my eyes at people who stare at us. Like, what are you staring at? But yeah.
But what will your kids identify as? Like,
Human beings.
Yeah.
I think like for me, I'm okay with my kids identifying, or our kids identifying as mixed race or black, whichever one they felt more comfortable with. I would primarily prefer them to identify as mixed race because I don't want them to pick one side, like because they're half and half, right? So I wouldn't want them to pick one side over the other side. But I'm also very aware of the fact that like society will look at them as black children, and so if they feel like they want to identify as black, I'm totally like okay with that.
yeah, I guess it's up to them, but I hope they're comfortable enough to identify as mixed race for sure.
Yeah, you don't want them to
That's
identify as black.
It's not that I don't want them to identify as black, but like they should be like proud of who they are.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And
exactly.
half of that is black, half of that is white. So
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I want them to be happy regardless of what they identify as, and I want them to be comfortable in their own skin. And I'm really thankful because there's so many mixed people out there right now, so they're not weird. Like our children are not going to be like an anomaly. Like it's quite normal. Like there's so many mixed children out there, so I don't really feel like there should be like any issue. And also being like very Nigerian, I feel like my children are going to be. They're going to take a lot of the Nigerian aspects, you know, and there's some pride that comes with being Nigerian. Like, if you know Nigerians, we're very like, so you know, like I'm hoping that my children really take into that Nigerian like pride and stuff, and identify as half Nigerian, half Canadian, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I would love for them to identify as what, like the half and half, you know. And there's a place in the world for mixed children. Ultimately, I want my kids to be confident.
There you go.
Don't you get frustrated not being able to express yourself in your own language? Like I think I mentioned earlier, like my primary language is English, but sometimes I do like say things in Yoruba like under my breath, like if I'm annoyed. Like I would totally like say stuff in like Yoruba, and like Jared would be like, what was that? And then I would be like, I said, leave me alone. or you know, something. And like I don't get frustrated because I feel like, I don't know how to explain it. When you are with the right person, you are so free to be yourself. Jared, stop looking at the dog.
Sorry.
You're kind of like so free to be yourself. Like I don't have to, what's the thing, like dim one side of me. Like I don't have to be like, you know, like I can still be myself. I can still express myself the way I would normally express myself, and which, if that means like cursing in Yoruba or like sighing in Yoruba because I'm obsessed, I totally don't get frustrated. And I think like because society English is my first language, I'm not really struggling to express myself when I want to say something to him. So don't you get frustrated not being able to express your own language with me?
Yeah, all those other languages I know. No, I use your language to express myself sometimes too.
Yeah, I think the best is maybe Pele and Oshie.
Yeah.
That is
that
our
one's
like,
pretty common.
That one is pretty like, yeah.
For sure.
Because you know the thing with Pele is you don't really know what to say. Like, so now you know that with Pele, when you don't really know what to say, oh, I had a long night with Pele.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Exactly.
So we kind of like, yeah, I think we've got our language problem on a lockdown.
Don't really think we have a language problem.
I don't think we have a language problem. I really don't.
This is just a phase. Do you think you'll last? If anybody asked me that, I'd fucking punch them.
I think like
that's the rudest thing to ask on this whole
rude.
list right here. You shouldn't ask anybody that. If that even crosses your mind to ask somebody that, just shut up. Like, that's all I have to say. But I'm surprised that's even on that list. Like,
no, but I feel like I would totally answer like. I obviously wouldn't tolerate that kind of question from like a stranger or anything, but I feel like maybe my close friend, which I don't think my close friends are asking that kind of stuff, like we're all very chilled.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like classifying someone's relationship as a phase when they are 28 and 30 is a bit ridiculous. Like we're not 12.
Yeah, for real.
You know, like at this age you're not dating to date, like you're not dating to just like waste each other's time, because that's just what it is, you're wasting time. And obviously time is going, like very soon you'll be like, I'll be 30, then I'll be 40, then I'll be 50. Like time is going, like you just can't be wasting anyone's time. So I think like it's definitely not a phase. And when you even make it a phase, it's almost like you're fetishizing the other party.
Yeah, just like asking someone that, I think is just disrespectful to the relationship and the individual and their partner, you know?
Yeah,
like,
very disrespectful.
That's just a rude question, straight up.
Yeah, that's definitely a rude question. But I just wanted to say something that I forgot. You know, when we're talking about what our kids will identify as, I hope that our kids do not, how do I put this? I hope that our kids do not fetishize themselves, because there is like a huge problem in like fetishizing mixed-race people and mixed-race children. So I hope that regardless of what our kids choose to identify as, they don't think of themselves as a fetish or as anything more fantastic than necessary because of the color of their skin.
Fair enough.
You know. But yeah, that was actually a bit like more serious than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
I thought it was
totally.
gonna be like super chill, but like we like maybe they're right. Maybe you shouldn't ask interracial couples this question, because we got like super serious and everything. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and we will see y'all in the next video. Bye.
That's gonna make it in, right?
Of course.
That was good.
That was good. It's short.